Yo YouTube, GK back. As you can tell, I'm a little under the weather, most definitely. So this is going to be a little shorter video. I've actually had this recorded for a while. I just didn't able to get the voice in. So you're going to be able to unlock munitions and any other kind of donations you get for your people that you've kind of been saving along the way. By sending your electricity basically across the world. So I always suggest and pick treasure donations, as you can do a lot with more with treasure donations than like gil or discounts on your weapons. Just go with treasure, it's always the best. So we'll be going, we're gonna learn some new interesting things in this episode, that is for sure. I may stay away from trying to post videos like this until my voice definitely gets, better. But here's Talcott. He's talking about Ramu again. And he talks a little bit about Angel Guard again and says that Angel Guard was actually used as a prison before like the rise of Lucis as a kingdom kind of. So it kind of hints that there was a world definitely before Lucis and the Empire, and the gods kind of ruled it and they could judge over everything. We're going to do a new mission. I'm kind of showing you the areas. The Kalaptopus, it's an urgent mission. Urgent missions means you do that to kind of progress the story. The Kalaptopus or the crustaceans things, the problem we're having with them is that they're soaking up electricity, and as you guys know, power is a very important resource we have at the time, right now. And with them running amok and there being too many of them and congregating near our electricity supplies, them sucking power out is not only making them stronger, but is making our job harder of providing power where it needs to go and light to fend off these demons. So we'll go in and definitely take care of that, and that's really it for basically this mission. I think I'm definitely going to just leave all the missions in, as it's a bit easier, and it's not like I'm trying to really rush anything. The game will take a while, especially at the pace I go, and definitely will for you as well. I'm using my mace. A little trick with the mace is if you jump and attack, you do a lot quicker attacks and can actually like direct it a little more. But the maces are just a very cool weapon. It's dope. So we're doing our thing. These little Sangans, if you ever heard them, they're kind of like, remember from Final Fantasy X, that enemy that was in the water only though? They weren't really on land. However, they were on land a couple times, but here's our main guy now. There is this prevailing theory that certain enemy types prevail from certain gods. So this thunder type enemy, you can almost guess that Ramu would be its father kin. However, this is not a demon type enemy. This is a animal kin type enemy. That they're not. Nothing with the demon scourge has affected them as to change their genetic or physical makeup. They're just animals, and just like the people are going crazy. Those little red lines you're seeing, they're aggro lines, like Final Fantasy 12 did, for showing your like connection to an enemy, your line of sight or whatever. But there is an aggro, so that the enemy will aggro that specifically. We take it down relatively, easy, though it did take a while. As you can see, since the first few episodes, 2 episodes or whatever, the enemies are going to take a little more time, most definitely, and that's because I told you guys my power level isn't exactly 99, because your 99 is going to look different from my 99 and someone else's 99. That's kind of a really beautiful trait about the game, that everyone's max level is going to be different, so it's kind of cool. We learned some interesting things about the world itself in a few seconds, because when you go out on a mission and you come back, certain things could happen, and I don't really want to spoil it, but you know, the bros are definitely not dead right now, because you know, Noctis went away. They're not dead, so we will be running into one of the bros, and I guess I'll just start talking about it now, as I hope it's coming up right now or soon. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I do this freestyled for the most part. However, I do look up a lot of things. And when I say freestyle, I mean like I'm running the video and then talking over it, not actually like playing the game and then talking over it. That might get me my thoughts a little too scattered, where they're already just, you know, too scattered now to add that other aspect into it. So I figured just sit relaxing and talking over the video, you know, playing it and recording is just a little better for everybody involved. I love the load screens too, because they've gotten so much better. It's just great. I know this one seems a little long, but it's only because we're like waiting for something. But when you're actually playing, it's actually not, you know, not too long and not too bad at all. A little tip, always remember to talk to your NPCs every once in a while as you're playing and as you're moving and grooving, because they'll have new dialogue for you, they'll have new things to say. But like I was saying, Gladio has come back to Lestalem for a visit and see how things are, because remember, he still has to report to Core, and especially Gladio has to report to Core pretty heavily, because Core is literally one of the highest positions in the Crown's Guard, the King's Glaive, the Lucis. That's where you get your donations. So Gladio has to report, and the other bros have to as well. But when you hear of Gladio, you usually go and check on Iris. She'll have dialogue for us to listen to. Gladio is a very interesting character. I loved his DLC. Gladio got to change and develop a little bit. However, sometimes the weight of what he knew Noctis had to go through burdened him and changed him on occasion. He tried his best to be the strong big brother for everybody. And, you know, you got to respect a character like that very much so. And having to care for his sister, he's the only one with a sibling there other than the bros. So Gladio really is the man, if there ever were one in this game. So she's talking about her store again, about how the proceeds go where they need to go, and how she tries to handle new inventory. I was checking for that Gladio dialogue there, but it wasn't. And I remember why. It's because after you do your thing with Gladio, you get that dialogue. This is interesting too. Sid's talking about how King Regis had a boy, and how Noctis was so very picky that all his starting weapons and all his weapons are custom-made weapons. You know, like he prefers custom-made and doesn't like to use anything else. It's kind of funny that Noctis, you know, had that engine blade, and you got to think now, why is it called an engine blade? Well, because Sid, a mechanic, works on engines and made an engine blade, and see how that kind of ties together. So if you didn't know that, that's why, or how engine blade, that's where it kind of comes from. I'll always be walking in the world, you know, for the most part. Definitely, I don't really, you know, like to just run and jump and do all that stuff. It's just like, just walk, just enjoy the game. The music's, you know, nice, and there's characters you can stop and talk to all the time, and the lighting's great, and the movement's fluid, and I just like it. It's hard to explain when I've changed how I gamed over the years, you know, like from a young child to an adult, and I've played many different types of games, and the more I've realized, like, how do I want to play a game? So you'll have to look for your bros, and here's Gladio. He's waiting for a quest. Gladio's training. as anyone could have guessed, he has to train just like all the other bros in Noctis, and there's no better time to do it since Noctis is away. Unfortunately, I'm not going to show you how dope this battle actually is because I'm so strong and Gladio's so very weak. So I kind of ruin him. I kind of ruin it a little bit. You know, I pop my shield, pop my shields. We get it going, pop it again. That's really just for effect for you guys, so we get it going. Dodging around. And you fight Gladio. You remember, always remember, ooh, I like that's such a cool little move where he kind of just like swings the sword like it's nothing on the bottom, like up. It's cool. Always remember that your directional buttons give you different move sets for your weapons. A lot of people forget, but you can move left, right, up, down, and you'll do different moves. That's how complex the game actually is in terms of your inputs for your attacks and stuff. And the game will get considerably harder. I know I make it look easy, but it will be considerably harder for you, especially if this is your first playthrough. But Gladio always pushed for Noctis to become the person he needs to be, always knew his roles. Gladio's father was also Regis's protector, dies with Regis that same day, and it's a family of the Ameticias. That's their last name. I checked the power grid again. My voice is going. I thought this prospect of making the video today was going to be a little easier on me, but it is very difficult, so I'm going to try to power through this. If at some points I just have the game volume on, it's not because I don't have anything to say, it's just because I'm not feeling too good. So like I said, you go back to her, she'll talk and she'll say, I heard you give Gladio a beating. He needs to be brought down to size, you know, kept in check because he thinks he's so strong and so big or whatever. Gladio also isn't intellectual. He's not actually just all muscles and brawn. He's in the car. He reads. He does do a lot of the heavy lifting, obviously, for the bros. Especially on that cover art, you see he's got like a fistful of everything. And as you see, I'm only posting one mission once. So we're doing the, what mission is it? Oh, driving Miss Cindy. We're doing an escort mission. Escort missions are where you kind of follow in the car. So Cindy is, Miss Cindy. Cindy is Sid's daughter, our mechanic, our best mechanic, our resident girl. She helps the bros with their car. She's a very strong female character and obviously looks great. But she's still kind of around Hammerhead, right? She still doesn't want to leave where she needs to be. Sid had to leave. She made Sid leave because he was going to die there, and Cindy, made him go. But Cindy's important to us, and she needs to have great supply lines between Lestalem and where she's at, and these wolves, just tons of, I guess what I would say, they're like demon-kin and earth-kin, like animal-kin type enemies on the roadways causing havoc, and so we have to clear them out is basically the storyline there. They're a problem, and you'll see it's kind of like a long ways with the car. The dogs, we've seen many times now. Don't really need to go over that. The Hornets, Earth enemies, we've talked about them many times. There is an introduction of a new enemy type here. It's the, maybe not new, but like the helm splitters, I guess. I haven't really talked about the dual horns or the, the shelled beasts. You'll see them a little closer. I always think of Final Fantasy X's ones. But they show up and, they're resistant to physical attacks. So escort mission, you have to protect the truck, and you can't let the truck die, but you also can't let the truck leave you, or you kind of fail the mission. So you have to make sure you warp to the truck, or you can like jump on the truck, or anyway. And then if you're playing with AI, all the other members will get there. But if you're playing with like regular people, sometimes they'll mess up the regular people stuff. So you gotta have to be a little aware. So we're just clearing them out. And I don't know, now that I'm sitting here just like talking over it right here, it's like, seems like I guess I could actually speed up the video. So, I don't know, I think I may actually, so I'll see you, in a second. No, I'm not, because if a new enemy pops up, which I know there is, we might as well just talk about it then. It doesn't really make sense not to. Well, so I guess, like where we're going in the world, the hunters have set up blockades, you could say, just like the Imperial Army did, and in fact they used the same blockades that the army had up before the resolution, like Noctis got rid of some of them, but as checkpoints. So there is a checkpoint system in that you have to pass through certain gates and drop materials off. Everyone's working together, and the wildlife is stay going crazy. As you see, all the effects of like poison and all those other effects are still in the game. I guess I didn't really talk about that, like status effects. There's a way to cure them, but not with just the basic cure that just gives you health. You can cure with Asuna and other abilities, but you have to craft them. So the only way to do that is to craft. It's like there are no items, I guess I should say. Like you're not going to pop an item, especially not now. You're not going to be popping any like Verve WXs or anything. That's the helm splitters I was talking about. They're an enemy, clearly resistant to everything. I really like the way they look. But the key to tell like whether an enemy is demonkin or earthkin is whether that black stuff comes out. So these are just the animals in the world. These aren't demons, and definitely not the people demons, where they were once people who turned into demons. They're just the wildlife. I like how we're all matching in black. Sometimes it doesn't normally happen like that. And I just want to apologize again for the voice and the, I guess, lack of preparedness for the videos. So the next one will definitely be more on par. Like we can maybe speed things up, and I can cut and do a little bit more prep to that stuff. But I do like the freestyle. So you can also do counterattacks. So if they're flashing white, it's a time to press your like X or not X, but whatever button you use to block. So if you have the shield, the enemy will hit the shield, and you'll kind of wave the shield away and do your counter. Or if you're warp striking with the shurikens and you're like watching the shurikens go far away, you have to press it again to kind of end up there, because you can do a weird thing with the shurikens. It's like as a throw cancel, almost like weird text from Super Smash Bros. Like it's a weird cancel move, and it's real techy, and you'll see. But here's our new enemy, the coral. Now everyone knows corals, and people, I'm included, I hate corals. They're cute and all, but they're usually thunder attributed. They have like death gazes and death touches. They have a healing mech too. They can heal themselves, and these ones can too. Like in the main game, they just lay there and they just start regaining health. Corals are, I guess, they're mythological creatures, right? Like they're on the same wavelength as like a unicorn would be. However, not as, I guess, well known and rare as a unicorn would be. I'm not sure how everyone's mythology is, but a coral's on the same wavelength, and the coral's been seen next to like Egypt, like ancient statues. Like the coral, like it's not like a cat, right? It's more of it's not like a tiger or like a cat animal. It's its own like species of cat, quote unquote. It's not like a lion or whatever. It's like a unicorn's a horse, right? I keep calling it a coral too. I'm not 100% sure if that's actually the correct word for it. the one in 15. But they always cause a problem for party members, and it's just not a fun type of enemy to really face at all. I guess if you're forgetting, you grab your food. I sometimes wait till the end of that last boss to get your food from that last boss, and it'd be a good item. But that's really good soup right there. You get XP bonuses and stuff, and you'll need that. So try to remember what food gets to what result, so that way when you're in the field, you can at least always grab the Klein wheat, or you can always grab the protein or something like that. You do those things so you can have a chance to get it. Don't grab like bizarre bones or like oozes and weird things, because those weird things will give you weird results. And especially playing with non-AIs, those people really kind of like their food buffs, because it gives you something as it's like a perk. So it's kind of really nice. So we're moving and grooving still. Like I said, I kept this one short, and in all honesty, I should have kept it shorter and definitely tried to speed it up, considering my voice and the headache I got going on. So we're gonna keep it moving to the light service. See what we got going on. I always check my map up, because I thought this was an important episode, as in I'm introducing another mechanic that you may not have seen or wouldn't have known about, and we're gonna explain and talk about it definitely with this lore through. You see the bases there, Fargoff garrisons, and a lot of pylons, of course. Because it's not like we erected the pylons, the pylons have kind of always been there. But we unlocked Old Lestalem, and it says the car there is up and running. So it's kind of one of our main missions as well, is to supply light to everybody. So our resident hunter is going to take us over, and we'll just follow him. He's running because he's in a rush to get the car started before I get there, so it's nice and warm. And I'll walk over there and I'll show you a little bit of Old Lestalem. And I believe that's the end of like the missions we do from here on out. It's talking about Old Lestalem and talking about what's been going on. So here's actually a good point for me to take a quick little rest. I'll be back in a second. I'm back. I sound a little better today. So Old Lestalem was basically the first big town in this Lucis area that they settled at. It was known for its electricity. It was the powerhouse of electricity production and energy source. As you can see, that in the Klein region, that had faded off, and it was slowly, replaced by the newest Lestalem, especially where the meteor is. So this is pre-meteor town that would have been erected before it. You got little notes here: Tale of Two Stalems. It's just north of the Calabas grasslands, and then the Weneth River. The Weneth River, you got to figure that electricity back then would have been powered by some kind of spindle or wheel that would what's comparable to our 1900s ways of getting energy and power. This person is just talking about how Luna Freya basically saved her life. It's weird, and this is some kind of theory that the sickness doesn't usually, there are young people afflicted, yes. However, it's very much shown that only older people seem to get the scourge of the star, and Luna Freya helps them. Kenny Crow, they're out of business for the moment. They aren't really available to, feed the masses as they usually would. Of course, you have things to buy here, but this town basically is just where you would go to potentially get new items really and get your lore bits, change the scenery. More will happen with these kind of places, however, just not right now. It's funny, this guy right there was talking about Namath, the fisherman. Who knows if he's still, alive or out there catching fish. People just kind of getting the overall tone, like how they lived before. They might have took that for granted, and now, how the world is at the moment. It's a very somber mood, and I was saying that for the game. This was the River Wyneth lore I was telling you about. The town obviously was in decline even before the events of Comrades. You'll find a lot of lore everywhere. I hope you had a good holiday. The hotel's closed, obviously. And whatever you celebrate. I know the video has been sporadic. This has been in the making for quite a while. And I definitely want to get some new stuff on the channel as opposed to just our lore through. I'm just trying to figure out what that's going to be, whether it's going to be some Final Fantasy X stuff or drawings or anything. I haven't really quite settled in and figured that out yet, just because I haven't felt too well, and I want to get this one out at the very least. I heard some of it playback. It doesn't sound too good, but I'm just gonna have to make do for right now until I'm feeling a lot better. So I may make videos shying away from talking. Some more weapons here. Obelisk. For those that don't know what an obelisk is, they're scattered throughout the world, but the most famous ones you could say are in Egypt. They're tall, like monolithic structures, kind of, but they don't have to be mono as in one. They can, be many, but they're just big and used to call things, kind of, or points of like summoning, almost ritual of some kind of summoning of some sort. Like I said, you'll see refugees from all over the world here, and this officer talking basically crap on the Kingsglaive, saying they're a bunch of traitors. Which, yes, it is true that a lot of the Kingsglaive did become traitors, unfortunately. And it really, kind of sucked. This lady will sell you items that you'll find pretty useful, but not too useful to spend all your money on and do it that way. But this place will open up more as you progress with the story. Again, hunters, they have newspapers still circulating around, and they're mainly just to tell people safe spots and call for help. You just have to be 18 or older to join the hunters, really. And that's kind of it for this playthrough. We check out the gas pump. Gas has obviously become a huge resource for the world. You can't waste it. There's no such thing as driving around anymore. It's strictly for hunters and Glaives members and overall transports of materials to help the remaining people of the world. Otherwise, there's not much left. So that's gonna basically be the end of it. I noticed there was 2 new spots on that map I'm really excited about to get to, because I unlocked everything before, but I'm really excited to get to the new stuff now. So I'm excited. We can talk more about Old Lestala if you want. It's kind of it's run down. I mean, there's really not much more to say. It's really the surrounding areas, like the way of the river and Navath kind of fishing there. It's one of our spots for him. And then the resources that the area had way back when, it's just not there anymore. And that's really gonna be it. I don't believe I do much of anything but like walk to the next area. So yeah, I know this wasn't the best of one of the lore throughs yet. I'll make sure the quality is a lot better all around the boards for the next one. I'm definitely gonna take a little more time to do that. You can always go check your photos, which I do, you know, because it's a whole separate file or game basically for you, so you can check your photos. I, you know, saved, you know, my max photos even when they did the upgrade for the main game, so I'll save a few, like some cool shots that I, you know, like, and then you can look at them way later in the game. Plus they're helpful to remind you of what happened, especially if you're doing something like this, a lore through. But that's really it. I think I'm actually going to cut the video here. I think I go for another minute, but nothing else happens. So stay tuned for some more content. We're gonna work on structuring the channel a little better, definitely, and trying to get some varied content out there on a regular basis again, especially if the holidays are done, and I am feeling a little better, so we'll definitely work on that. So I can't wait. Any suggestions, leave them down. Hope this broke the monotony of your grinds in Final Fantasy 15 Comrades. I cannot wait for the Arden update. I'm super excited, and hopefully by then we'll have everything pretty much done in terms of 15, except for like lore videos and stuff. We're gonna really stick with Final Fantasy X's lore videos. I noticed a couple other people are talking about Final Fantasy X again, so it's good. It's good to hear. It's good to see, and let's hope, you know, we get that X3. So the next video will be some Final Fantasy X lore stuff. We're gonna do and wrap that up. So I'm GK. Make sure you have a good day. Happy New Year.